There's a rule so brutally simple that most traders laugh when they first hear it. Yet it's the exact principle that separates those who survive from those who silently disappear. The Wah's Lost Day Challenge. Not a strategy, not a secret indicator, but a mental filter that professional traders use to protect themselves from their own worst enemy, themselves. If you've ever looked at your trading account after a session and felt that sick, hollow feeling in your stomach, wondering how you gave back everything you worked for, this is your turning point. Most traders don't blow up their accounts in one catastrophic moment. They bleed slowly, one impulsive decision at a time, convincing themselves that the next trade will fix everything, until there's nothing left to fix. Let me tell you about Marcus. He wasn't a gambler. He studied charts for months before risking real money. He had a strategy that worked on paper, backtested results that looked promising, and the discipline to follow rules. At least that's what he told himself. For 3 weeks, Marcus traded carefully. He kept his losses small, took profits when his system told him to, and his account grew steadily. Then came that Tuesday morning. One bad trade. A spike against him that he didn't expect. He closed it fast, took the loss, told himself it was just part of the game. But something happened inside him. A voice, quiet at first, whispered that he could get it back. Just one more trade. The setup looked perfect. He entered, and the market moved against him again. This time, instead of honoring his stop loss, he moved it. Just a little further. He needed breathing room. The price kept falling. His heart started pounding. He told himself it would reverse. It always does, right? By the time he finally closed the trade, that single morning had erased 2 weeks of careful, disciplined profit. Marcus sat there, staring at his screen, feeling something far worse than financial loss. He felt betrayed by himself. This is the moment most traders know intimately. Not the loss itself, but the realization that you broke your own rules. That you knew better, yet you did it anyway. And here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud: the market didn't beat you. Your emotions did. Your need to be right. Your inability to accept a small loss. Your hope that this time would be different. The market is neutral, indifferent to your needs, your bills, your ego. It simply moves. But you're a complex web of fear, greed, pride, and desperation. And when those emotions take control, no strategy on earth can save you. This is why the Zero to Lost Day Challenge exists. Not to make you money, but to teach you something far more valuable: self-control in the face of internal chaos. Think about what actually happens in your mind during a losing streak. The first loss stings, but you rationalize it. Everyone has losing trades. The second loss makes you uncomfortable. You start doubting your analysis. The third loss triggers something primal, something that evolved over millions of years to help humans survive: the need to recover what was taken. Except in trading, this instinct destroys you. Your rational mind shuts down. Your emotional mind takes over. And emotional decisions in the market are expensive, devastatingly expensive. You start seeing setups that don't exist. You start forcing entries because sitting still feels like giving up. You start risking more because you need to get back to break-even fast. This spiral, this mental trap, is where accounts die. And the cruel joke is that you're aware it's happening. You can feel yourself losing control. But awareness without a system to interrupt the pattern is useless. The Zero to Lost Day Challenge interrupts that pattern before it starts. The concept is deceptively simple. At the beginning of each trading day, you decide on a maximum loss threshold, typically a small percentage of your account, and you commit absolutely to walking away if you hit it. No exceptions. No negotiating with yourself. No convincing yourself that this next trade is different. The moment you reach that threshold, you close your platform and you're done for the day. To most traders, this sounds restrictive, even cowardly. They think professional trading is about having the courage to fight back, to battle the market until you win. But they're wrong. Professional trading is about knowing when to stop fighting. It's about respecting your limitations, acknowledging that today isn't your day, and protecting your capital so you can trade tomorrow. Because here's what amateurs don't understand: survival is the foundation of everything in trading. You cannot compound gains if you keep resetting your account to zero. You cannot develop skill if you're too emotionally damaged to execute your strategy. You cannot build confidence if you keep breaking promises to yourself. Let me paint you a picture of what happens psychologically when you adopt the $0 loss day challenge. In the first few days, it feels almost unbearable. You'll hit your loss limit early in the session, often from a single bad trade or two small losses, and every fiber of your being will scream at you to keep trading. You'll see setups forming. You'll convince yourself that you've learned from your mistakes. You'll rationalize that the rule is too strict. This discomfort, this internal war, is exactly the point. You're not just protecting your account, you're training your mind to accept loss without attachment. You're teaching yourself that walking away flat is not failure, it's discipline. And discipline, real discipline, is built through repeated acts of restraint, not through motivation or willpower in the moment. After a week of following the $0 loss day challenge, something shifts. You start noticing patterns in your own behavior that were invisible before. You realize that most of your losses happen at certain times of day when your focus drops. You notice that you're more impulsive after news events. You see that certain setups trigger your FOMO more than others. This self-awareness is the hidden gift of the challenge. While other traders are focused entirely on the market, on indicators and price action, you're developing something far more valuable. You're learning to read yourself. You're mapping the terrain of your own psychological triggers. And once you see these patterns clearly, they lose their power over you. You stop being a slave to impulse. You start becoming the observer of your own mind, watching thoughts arise without acting on them automatically. Most traders operate in a constant state of low-grade panic. They don't realize it because it feels normal after a while. But there's always this underlying tension, this fear that they might miss the move, that they might be on the wrong side, that they might lose everything. This tension makes them reactive instead of responsive. They see a green candle and immediately think they need to be in. They see a red candle and panic about their position. They're not trading a strategy, they're trading their nervous system. The $0 loss day challenge removes this panic by changing what success means. When your only goal is to end the day without exceeding your loss limit, suddenly every decision becomes less charged with emotion. A winning trade is nice, but it's not necessary. A losing trade is acceptable as long as it fits your plan. This shift in perspective is subtle but profound. You stop measuring yourself by outcomes you can't control and start measuring yourself by execution you can. Here's something most trading educators won't tell you because it doesn't sell courses. The difference between a struggling trader and a consistent one isn't knowledge. It's not about having better indicators or more screen time. It's about emotional regulation. It's about the ability to sit with discomfort without acting on it. Think about the last time you took a revenge trade. In that moment, did you not know it was a mistake? Of course you did. But you did it anyway because the emotional pressure was unbearable. You needed to do something, anything, to relieve the tension. The loss day challenge trains you to sit with that tension. It teaches you that you can feel the urge to trade and not act on it. You can watch a setup form and consciously decide it doesn't meet your criteria. You can close your platform when every instinct screams at you to stay. This is the edge that nobody talks about, the psychological edge that compounds faster than any technical analysis skill ever will. Let me tell you what happens to traders who reject this concept. They continue the cycle. They have good days where discipline comes easy because the market is cooperating. Then they have bad days where everything falls apart. On those bad days, they tell themselves it's just variance, just bad luck, just the market being irrational. They refuse to see the truth that they're the variable, not the market. The market is always irrational. The market is always unpredictable. But some traders navigate this chaos consistently while others don't, and the difference is entirely internal. The traders who survive have built systems to protect themselves from themselves. The $0 loss day challenge is one of the most powerful systems because it's impossible to negotiate with. Either you hit your limit or you didn't. Either you stopped or you didn't. There's no gray area, no room for rationalization. It's binary, clean, and brutally effective. Now I know what you're thinking. What if you hit your limit early and then miss a massive opportunity later in the day? What if walking away costs you the trade of the week? This fear is exactly the mindset that keeps traders trapped. You're so focused on what you might miss that you're blind to what you're saving. Every day you honor your limit, you're depositing into your psychological account. You're proving to yourself that you can be trusted. You're building a reputation with yourself. And over time, this compounds into unshakable confidence. Not confidence that you'll win every trade, but confidence that you'll survive every day. And survival, in trading, is everything. The opportunities will always be there tomorrow. But if you destroy your account and your mental state today, there is no tomorrow. The Zero's Lost Day Challenge also forces a critical shift in how you prepare for trading. When you know you have a limited margin for error, you can't afford to be careless. You start analyzing setups more carefully before entering. You start waiting for confirmation instead of anticipating moves. You start respecting your risk parameters absolutely because you know one sloppy trade could end your day. This heightened awareness makes every decision count. Most traders approach the market casually, almost lazily, clicking into trades because they're bored or because something looks interesting. But when you're operating under the Zero Lost Day Challenge, laziness disappears. You become surgical in your execution. You trade less, but what you do trade is cleaner, sharper, more aligned with your actual strategy. There's a compounding psychological effect that starts happening around the 2-week mark of following this challenge. You begin to trust yourself in a way you never have before. Every day that you honor your rules, even when it hurts, even when you desperately want to keep trading, you're sending a message to your subconscious mind: I can be trusted. This trust is the foundation of all consistent performance. Think about it. How can you execute a strategy with conviction if you don't trust yourself to follow it? How can you hold a position through volatility if you don't trust yourself to honor your stop loss? You can't. And most traders never build this trust because they never commit to anything long enough to prove themselves reliable. They keep changing strategies, keep adjusting rules, keep making exceptions. The Zero Lost Day Challenge eliminates exceptions. It builds trust through consistency. And once you trust yourself, trading becomes simpler, calmer, more mechanical in the best way. Let me share what professional traders understand that amateurs don't. Trading is not about maximizing every opportunity. It's about minimizing catastrophic mistakes. The market provides infinite opportunities. Every day, every hour, every minute, there are setups forming somewhere. You will never catch them all. You will never maximize every move. But you can absolutely avoid the one trade, the one day, the one moment of weakness that wipes out months of progress. The Zero Lost Day Challenge is designed for exactly this purpose. It's a safety net that catches you before you fall too far. And the beauty of it is that, over time, you stop needing the net because the habit of stopping becomes automatic. Your brain rewires itself to associate certain loss thresholds with closure, not with opportunity. This rewiring happens slowly, almost invisibly, but it's permanent once it sets in. Think about the last time you had a truly great trading day. Chances are it wasn't because you took 10 trades. It was because you took 2 or 3 high-quality setups and executed them flawlessly. That's what consistency looks like. It's not about quantity, it's about quality and patience. The Zero Lost Day Challenge trains both. It trains patience by forcing you to be selective since you can't afford mistakes. It trains quality by making every trade carry real weight. When you know one bad trade could end your day, you become meticulous about your entries. You wait for the perfect confluence of factors. You don't settle for marginal setups. His discipline is what separates professionals from gamblers pretending to be traders. There's also something profound that happens when you remove the pressure to make money today. Most traders wake up every morning with this burden: I need to make money today. I need to hit my target. I need to prove I can do this. This pressure creates tension, and tension creates mistakes. When you adopt the zero loss day challenge, your metric changes. Success is no longer about profit. It's about execution. Did you follow your plan? Did you honor your risk? Did you stop when you said you would? These are the only questions that matter. And when you shift your focus to these controllable factors, something miraculous happens. The money starts following naturally. Not because you're chasing it, but because you're no longer sabotaging yourself. You're trading from a place of calm clarity instead of desperate need. Most blown accounts happen on a single day. Not because of one trade, but because of a series of compounding mistakes after the first loss. The trader takes a loss, gets emotional, tries to recover immediately, loses again, doubles down, loses more, and suddenly they're in a hole so deep that even winning trades won't save them. The zero loss day challenge stops this spiral at the first step. One loss, fine. Two losses that hit your threshold, day over. You walk away with most of your capital intact and, more importantly, with your emotional state intact. You don't carry the damage into tomorrow. You don't spend your evening replaying mistakes. You don't wake up with that heavy dread in your chest. You protected yourself, and that protection allows you to show up fresh the next day. Here's where the challenge gets interesting. After about a month of strict adherence, you start noticing that you're hitting your loss limit less frequently. Not because you're winning more, but because you're trading better. You're more selective. You're more patient. You're more aligned with your strategy. The fear of having your day cut short has trained you to be a better trader. This is the irony of restriction: it creates freedom. When you limit your losses, you free yourself to trade without fear. When you protect your capital obsessively, you free yourself to take calculated risks. The boundaries don't constrain you, they liberate you from the chaos of unchecked emotion. Professional traders talk about having an edge, and beginners think this means having a secret strategy or insider information. But the real edge is psychological. It's the ability to execute your plan regardless of how you feel. It's the discipline to walk away when you should. It's the emotional stability to treat winning days and losing days with equal calm. The zero loss day challenge builds this edge systematically. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting. But it works because it addresses the actual problem, which is never the market, it's always you. Your impatience. Your fear. Your greed. Your inability to accept small losses. Your need to be right. These are the enemies, and the zero's loss day challenge is the weapon that defeats them. Let me be clear about what this challenge is not. It's not a way to avoid losses. You will still have losing trades. You will still have losing days. That's part of trading. What the challenge does is prevent those losses from spiraling into catastrophe. It keeps losses small, manageable, and within your system's parameters. It teaches you that a loss is just feedback, not a referendum on your worth as a trader. This mental reframe is crucial because most traders tie their identity to their P&L. When they lose, they feel like losers. When they win, they feel validated. This emotional roller coaster is exhausting and unsustainable. The zero loss day challenge flattens this roller coaster. A losing day is just a day where you executed your risk management. Nothing more, nothing less. There's a moment that every trader who seriously commits to this challenge experiences. It usually happens around week 3. You'll hit your loss limit, and instead of feeling frustrated or defeated, you'll feel relief. Maybe even pride. Relief because you stopped yourself before things got worse. Pride because you honored your commitment. This moment is transformative because it signals that your brain has rewired. You've crossed from seeing the rule as a restriction to seeing it as protection. From that point forward, trading becomes different, calmer, more sustainable, more professional. The zeros loss day challenge also reveals something uncomfortable: how much of your trading is actually gambling. When you're forced to stop after a small loss, you realize how often you were taking trades with no real edge, just hope. How often you were clicking into positions because you were bored or felt like you should be doing something. How often you were trading your emotions instead of your strategy. This revelation is painful but necessary. You can't fix a problem you won't acknowledge, and most traders spend years refusing to acknowledge that they're not actually trading, they're gambling with extra steps. The challenge strips away the illusions and forces you to confront your behavior honestly. What makes the Zero's Lost Day challenge so powerful is its simplicity. You don't need special software. You don't need to change your strategy. You don't need to learn new indicators. You just need to make one commitment. When you hit your loss threshold, you stop. That's it. But this simple commitment, maintained consistently, rebuilds your entire relationship with trading. It teaches you that control is possible, that discipline is learnable, that you can survive your own worst impulses. And these lessons transfer beyond trading. You start noticing that the same discipline that saves your trading account improves other areas of your life. The same patience that keeps you from overtrading helps you make better decisions everywhere. Self-mastery is not compartmentalized. It's a skill that compounds across every domain. By the time you've followed the $0 Lost Day challenge for 3 months, something remarkable happens. You stop thinking about it consciously. It becomes automatic. You don't need to remind yourself to stop, because stopping at your limit feels natural, obvious, the only logical thing to do. This automation is the goal. Real discipline isn't about forcing yourself to do the right thing. It's about rewiring yourself so that the right thing becomes the default. And the only way to achieve this rewiring is through consistent repetition. Every day you honor your limit is a repetition. Every time you walk away when you should is practice. And eventually, the practice becomes permanent. The traders who dismiss the $0 Lost Day challenge are usually the ones who need it most. They say things like, "I don't need rules. I need better entries." Or, "This is too restrictive, I need flexibility." What they're really saying is, "I'm not willing to confront my lack of self-control. I want to keep believing that the solution is external, in the market, in the strategy, in the indicators." Because confronting the truth that they're the problem is too painful. But pain is the price of growth, and the temporary pain of accepting your limitations is far less than the permanent pain of destroying your account repeatedly because you refuse to change. There's also a social aspect to the $0 Lost Day challenge that's worth mentioning. When you commit to this publicly, or even just to an accountability partner, the commitment becomes stronger. You're no longer just letting yourself down when you break the rule. You're admitting to someone else that you couldn't control yourself. This added layer of accountability accelerates the behavioral change. It makes the challenge real instead of abstract. Most traders trade alone, in secret, with no accountability, and this isolation enables bad habits. Bringing the challenge into the light, making it a non-negotiable part of your identity as a trader, transforms it from a rule you follow into a standard you embody. Let's talk about what happens after you've mastered the basic $0 Lost Day challenge. Some traders start layering additional rules. Maybe you add a maximum number of trades per day. Maybe you add time-based restrictions, like no trading in the first hour. Maybe you add a win threshold, where you stop after a certain profit to lock in gains. These additions are natural evolutions, but they all stem from the same core principle: protecting yourself from yourself. The $0 Lost Day challenge is the foundation, and once that foundation is solid, you can build sophisticated risk management systems on top of it. But without the foundation, all the additional rules in the world won't save you. The ultimate lesson of the $0 Lost Day challenge is this: trading success is not about what you do when things are going well. It's about what you do when things fall apart. Anyone can trade well when the market cooperates, but can you stop trading when it doesn't? Can you walk away from your screen when every instinct screams at you to stay? Can you accept a small loss today to preserve your ability to trade tomorrow? These questions separate the professionals from the amateurs, the survivors from the casualties. And the answer to these questions is built through practice, through commitment, through the daily decision to honor your boundaries, even when it hurts. If you're still watching this, you're different from most traders. Most would have clicked away by now, looking for the next quick tip, the next secret indicator, the next shortcut. But you've stayed because somewhere inside, You know the truth, there are no shortcuts. There's only the work of building discipline, one decision at a time, one day at a time. The Zero's Lost Day Challenge is not the end of your trading education. It's the beginning. It's the foundation upon which everything else is built. Without it, all your technical knowledge is useless because you lack the self-control to apply it consistently. With it, even a simple strategy becomes powerful because you have the discipline to execute it flawlessly. The market will always be there. The opportunities will always exist. But your capital and your mental stability are finite resources that must be protected absolutely. The Zero's Lost Day Challenge protects both. It's the rule that saves professional traders not because it makes them more money in the short term, but because it keeps them in the game long enough for their skills to compound, for their experience to accumulate, for their discipline to become automatic. This is not about getting rich quickly. This is about building a sustainable trading career that lasts years, decades, a lifetime. And sustainability starts with one simple commitment: when you hit your loss threshold, you stop. No exceptions. No negotiations. No regrets. Just the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you can trust yourself to do what's necessary, even when it's difficult. That's the power of the Zero Lost Day Challenge. That's the rule that changes everything,